Now 3.6, this is a mixed arithmetic. Mixed arithmetic means in an arithmetic operation, one operand is float, other operand is int. Float versus int or int versus float. Then that is called mixed arithmetic. In a mixed arithmetic, the type of the result is always float. Int versus float or float versus int, the result, the type of the result is float. So you remember that int versus int, the results, the type of the result is int. Float versus float, the type of the result is float. In case of mixed arithmetic, that is int versus float or float versus int, the type of the result is always float. In this context, I have to tell you one secret. You must know the secret. Actually, when they develop the compiler, compilers are designed to act upon similar data types. Suppose it may be C compiler or C++ compiler or Java compiler. What they know originally means they can act upon similar data types, int versus int, float versus float, or long versus long, double versus double. Like this only, they can act upon similar data types, same data types. They do not know originally, compilers do not know how to act upon different data types. So how we are getting result? If a compiler does not know how we are getting result, that may be your doubt. Now one simple technique is developed. What is the technique? Now suppose int versus float. The compiler does not know how to manipulate. Then what is the technique? The inferior type, whatever is the inferior type between two, then that is first promoted as superior one, then both will be same, then compiler knows how to act upon. So here int and float, two are there. Again one more doubt, which is inferior? Actually the size of int is 4, type size of float is also 4. How can you decide inferior? Actually floats type is different. We can store an int into float, but we cannot store a float value into int without loss. Understand? That's why in this context, even though the sizes of int and float are same, float is the superior one. So before actual operation is being made, then int is first promoted to float. Then what type of operation should be done? Float versus float. Actually, by that what you can understand, you go by fact. There is no mixed arithmetic. Mixed arithmetic is there in our source code. Actually, at the time of compilation, both types are made uniform because of the promotion. So then the operation is made only on same types. Understand? This is called automatic type conversion. Automatic type conversion, this is a big concept. In this chapter only, the last topic, we discussed that one. Okay. So now let us see the program. In this, all types, integer arithmetic, floating point arithmetic, and mixed arithmetic also we are discussing. And see, this is a demo. In that all cases I have given. And if you are a non-mathematical student, you must aware of all these things and all that. So that's why meticulously around 10 operations I have given. Let us see, let us analyze everything. Now we see a and b are ints and c and d are floats. Okay, one thing again I am telling you, in the second chapter I explained, If you don't put f here, it will be treated a double, and double you want to store in float, it leads to error. That's why if you want it to be float, you must postfix uh, uh, f. F, either it may be capital F or lower case f, no problem, but f should be suffix, that always you remember. And now let us see. First we decide what type of arithmetic. A and B both are int versus int. The result is int. Now you see 10 by minus 5. So minus 2. Otherwise cross checking, you see minus 5 into minus 2 is plus 10. Okay, this is integer arithmetic. Next one, B by A. This is also int versus int. This is also integer arithmetic. Then minus 5 by 10. In a integer arithmetic, what happens? The denominator is lesser than the numerator is lesser than denominator, and then the result is 0. Okay, then sign does not come in case of 0. Thereafter, B by D. B is int and D is float. So this is mixed arithmetic. Now you see minus 5 by minus 2.5, minus minus, then this will be 2.0, otherwise 2.0, cross checking, you see minus 2.5 into 2.0 minus 5. Okay, and thereafter D by B. This is also D is float and B is int. D by B is mixed arithmetic. Now 0.25 by minus 5, minus 5. Now see the result is minus 0.5, because this is float, this is int, float versus int, then float. So cross checking, minus 5 into minus 0.5 is minus into minus plus 2.5. Next, A by D. A by D. A is int, D is float, int versus float, then mixed arithmetic 10 by minus 2.5, then obvious result 4.0, cross checking, and minus into minus plus, and 2.5 into 4, 10. Okay, so these are mixed. Next, C by A. This is also mixed arithmetic, and 20.5 by 10, obviously 2.05, mixed arithmetic, and C by B is float versus int, 20.5 by minus 0.45 minus 5, then the result is minus 4.1, and if you multiply minus 5 into minus 4.1, it comes 20.5. Thereafter, B by D. B is int, D is float, minus 5 by minus 2.5. This is 2.0, cross checking, minus 2.5 into 2.0. This is minus, minus into plus minus, and 2.5 into 2, 5. Thereafter, B into D. B is integer, D is float, int versus float, the result is float, and here minus 5 into minus 2.5, minus into minus plus, and 5 into 2.5, 12.5, plus 12.5, and the last one A into D, int versus float, the mixed arithmetic, and 10 into minus 2.5, then plus into minus, minus 2.5 into 10, 25, and the result, as it is a mixed arithmetic, the result is float. Actually, these are simple things. In school life, we learn all these things, but many people are very bad at simple things. So that's why meticulously I am explaining. Just you few minutes you spend on that, and One technique I am telling you, this is a wonderful self-appraising technique. Suppose this program you want to execute. You type the program. Thereafter, all the 10 you write answers. Manually, you write answers. What if you evaluate manually? What would be the answers you write? Thereafter, you execute and compare. If 100% correct and all that, definitely self-appraisal. This is you are 100% perfect over this concept, mathematically as well as yeah, according to Java parameters. Hmm? So, if you do not know where you are committing mistake, if you are able to understand, then you can plug the loophole. This is simplest self-appraisal technique. So, you should be good at each and every concept in application-oriented manner. Then only you can own the things.